Hi, everybody. My name is Angel, and this is Mom. And welcome back to It Stays in the House, where we'll be discussing all topics that we typically keep in the house. We're inviting you into our homes once again so that you guys can hear about all topics, family, culture, morals, standards, boundaries, love, trauma, anything that you can think of that we typically don't speak on outside of the house. We want to invite you in and just share how we were able to navigate through life with a positive attitude through just different topics. Mom?
Okay, well, she's already told you who I am. As mom, I see things differently than you do because we're in a total different generation.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned the different things that we were going to cover with It Stays in the House.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things we want to talk about today is love.
Yes.
I think love is a very good subject because I don't like to use the word hate. I detest, I hate
It's not a good
the
word.
way love is just tossed around. I love you.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's nothing but mistreatment, abuse, lies, and deception.
Mm-hmm.
So the question needs to be asked, what is love?
I haven't answered.
What's your answer?
Love, the actual definition of love is an intense feeling of deep affection.
Okay. And I love that. Okay.
I love that.
I love that definition of love, the intense. Okay, with that intensity, people use it negatively.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes people have been so abused, if I can use the term, that they take love and actually believe that abuse is love.
Because abuse is intense, so the
intensity of it.
They correlate it as the same.
And so, really, let's get to the core.
Mm-hmm.
What really do you say love is to you? What to you is love?
To me, love is patient. Love is forgiving. Love is unwavering.
That's a good one.
Enduring.
Excellent.
Self-servant, meaning like the love for yourself. Make sure that you're serving yourself in ways that are positive and not because love is boundaries.
Yeah.
And it's action orientated.
Definitely.
I feel like from person to person, you can't love a person without there being some type of action to follow behind that.
Yeah.
That's just my personal definition of love. Yeah. I think that's about it.
You know, I look at love, I hear the word love, especially in my counseling sessions. And the one thing that I have, I never tell no one my opinion because that's not what I do. But one thing I know about love is that love is spiritual.
Oh, yes.
Love, and see, contrary to popular belief, people think love is an emotion, and it is not. Love and emotion has absolutely nothing to do with one another. Emotion is your soul, but love is your spirit.
So is love more your heart?
Love is your heart. Love is your consciousness.
Oh.
That is your spirit. It is your stability. And the reason I know everyone does not believe in the holy writings, but I do. So I have to stand on what I know. God is love. Mm-hmm. And God is not emotional. He's just who he is. And the love is spiritual.
That's a good one.
It's consciousness. It's your thought to do. because love is so active.
So
It's giving. See, you can give without loving, but you cannot love without giving. So love means you give. Like you say, you do. It's action, you
action.
show. And that's the reason why I believe so many people do not know what love is, because people are not giving them, not money. Please detach money from love.
Please.
But they're not
Please.
giving them people think, oh, I give you money, I love you.
If you have a lot of money,
What are you giving up?
you're not giving up anything. If a person
Hello.
has $100 million and they're giving you money, like,
And it
telling you they
costs you
love-
what?
nothing, really.
So that's the thing. So I always view love as giving,
Mm-hmm.
whether it is your time, your thoughts, your prayers. Love is spiritual because you put the person first.
Absolutely.
You make sure that,
Sacrifice.
there you go. Well, God so loved the world that he
Gave.
gave. So love is always attached to giving. And because of that, I believe people in general do not know how to give and receive love.
They don't.
Because have you received love? How do you get love? How do you define it for you?
Right.
How do you? Yeah.
So I think that, just going through life, I think I've realized
through life.
traveling through life, trudging through this mamma jamma. No, but I think that I'm not sure. It's hard for me to say that people weren't loved because I believe that so many have different definitions of love. So
True.
I don't want to. I guess I am going to say a lot of people weren't loved. And they don't really know what that looks like or what that feels like and what that entails, embodies, like they don't understand it. So I feel like for me, we grew up in a very, very loving family. Like, that's all we do is love. If I have not been taught anything else, it's been taught how to love others, more importantly, how to love myself.
Yes.
We are very, very big on that. And it costs me nothing to show love. It's just who I am as a person.
Right.
Like, you have to really get me outside of myself to and I can't even really show hate, but I can kind of cut it off with the person or whatever the case may be.
Ooh,
but even when it's somebody does something, to me that is negative or traumatic or just not cool, it's hard for me. Like, some people react in crazy ways, right? It's kind of hard for me to do that because in my heart, I don't feel that. Like, a lot of times, like, I've had friends tell me, you're soft or you're just gonna, and it's like, I'm not soft, but I don't know how to be super hateful and like super hurtful, like try to throw daggers. Like, it takes a very, very lot. You have to like trudge me through, I'm talking about drag me by this whole ponytail through everything behind here to make me really, really, really like bite back for real. Now, it's in me. Like, I'm not a punk. Let's be clear.
We know that.
But even in me not being like, a punk, I don't like to be mean or be evil or spew evilness to anybody.
You are a lover.
Right. And a lot of people take that for granted in me, or like, I feel like they take my kindness for weakness, and there's nothing about me that's weak.
But see, that's another thing. People do not understand that love may appear to be a weakness, but it is actually your strength.
That's how I feel.
Yeah. And I'd say love is strong because it's spiritual. And it gives you a guiding mechanism where you know how to love. You know how it feels to be loved. And when a person do not know how it feels to be loved, with that unconditional. Remember, we talked
Mm-hmm.
about that before years ago. We always talked about unconditional love. People think, oh, I love you based on how I feel.
Or they feel like also like they can get away with anything because you have a unconditional love. So they feel like they
Yeah.
can do all these things for you, and then they can come back and say, "Oh, I love you," and it's like, yeah, maybe in your mind, or maybe the
Mm,
way that you love is not the
mm,
way that I receive love. Like we said, giving and receiving love. So maybe the way that you give love is not the way I receive love. Because if you grew
right,
up in a trauma and traumatic environment, right? And
right.
you're seeing chaos, fighting, and this and that with it, whether it's with your parents or your siblings or your mom and dad, or I mean your mom and aunts, or your mom and his or her siblings or whatever, brothers, whatever the case may be. If you saw a lot of trauma in those relationships, then
Mm-hmm.
as a grown woman and or grown man, you will grow up and feel like I can say these things or I can do these things to you and then just say I love you and that everything is okay. And
Because
it's
that's what they
that's what they
experience.
experience. And then
Right.
for me, coming through from a space where I have been loved unconditionally. Granted, I don't feel like I didn't grow up with traumatic love. There have been traumatic experiences within our family, like down the line. But I can honestly say that those are things that I didn't fully experience. Those are things that happened before I was even born. So I
Right.
didn't go through
Right.
it. You get what I'm saying? So I didn't grow up in a traumatic environment. So when I give love and receive love, it's not traumatic. It's very soft. It's very kind. It's very patient. It's very, let's talk about it. Let's get to an understanding.
Right.
It's more
Right.
that versus, you know, stonewalling or like gaslighting or like walking
Yeah.
away and then thinking everything is, it's
But
just
people think
weird.
that's love
They
today.
do, and it is not. To me,
And
it's
I
not.
do not understand it. If a person is dragging you, as you all say,
Mm-hmm.
that is not love.
No way, shape, or form.
And so I'm not understanding in today's society why people think love is whatever someone give you or spend time with you on. Love is equated to materialistic things.
Yes, it is. Well, it
And
is.
that's not what love
No.
is. And so, and I tell people all the time, I have seen more divorced couples in love than ever before
Mm.
because love has nothing to do with where you are. It's the knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
It's the knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So to love, you have to have, in my understanding, because I'm talking about my understanding,
Mm-hmm.
love is when you give. Love is when you receive. Because if I love you and you love me, we're not out to hurt one another.
Mm-hmm.
We're out to build one another.
It's an act of service.
It's a service.
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't, and if you have to wonder, do someone love you? You're in the wrong place.
Mm.
Because you just have to say, do you love me? Well, then why are you with her? Why are you with him? Why are you in that environment? Why am I saying that? Because their action should tell you who they
Absolutely.
are.
Mm-hmm.
See, you can tell me anything. All that is your thoughts of where you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
What you're telling me is nothing but, to me, just thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
But what you do is who
That's
you are.
are. Yes.
And that is love. Love does not have a financial dollar amount.
Mm-hmm.
Love does not even have a timeline. And people, well, I love you until.
Hmm.
How do you put a boundary on love of time?
But do you do I might think that you should have boundaries in love
Okay, talk about it.
because
So you're saying there should be a time limit on how you love someone?
no, I don't think it's a time limit on how you love someone. I think that there should be some boundaries when it comes to love, or like you'll get walked all over, whether it's a friendship, a relationship. I mean, all relationships. I'll just say that in any
Okay.
relationship, whether it's friends, family, anybody that you're supposed to love. I mean, I don't think you love your coworkers like your job like that. So I would just say friends and family.
Okay.
And like dating relationships, like,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
So I feel like,
yes.
how do you I guess my questions would be, how do you set boundaries with the people that you do love? Because
Okay.
there should be some sort of boundaries and some sort of like guidelines, because everybody wasn't loved growing up, right? Everybody loves differently. So when you are expressing your boundaries or what you deem to be love and they have theirs, you get what I'm saying? Like, how do you
Okay.
merge the two and coexist in a healthy environment?
Okay. Based on what you're saying, I understand what you're saying now as far as boundaries. Love has no boundaries as far as in its innate state.
Okay.
Because it just is.
It just is.
But the boundaries come, like I said, with the knowledge of the person.
Mm-hmm.
I love you. I'm not going to stop loving you. But I set the boundaries based on what is happening within our
So
relationship.
it's circumstantial.
Yes, you can love a person, but that doesn't mean you allow them to empty out your bank account
Okay.
and go gamble or go give it away.
Okay.
You can love a person, but that does not mean when you have a bad day, I become your
punching
gym,
bag.
which is your punching bag.
Mm-hmm.
So I respect that part about the boundaries. There should be some boundaries with the knowledge of knowing what that person is or is not capable of.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I believe some people really do love in their fashion or what they think love is.
Mm-hmm.
But I also believe because of however they were or were not raised, that love is shown in a, shall I say, a demeaning way or an aggressive way, or that love may be shown just in pure weakness and just thinking you have to give everything. Because you should never have to give away your life to prove to someone you love them.
Mm-hmm.
You should not have to give up your peace of mind to prove your love. You being there is proof that I love you.
Right.
Because when you do not love someone, you give yourself too many outs. When you do not love someone, you're not going to waste your time dealing with their emotional trauma
or baggage. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're going to walk away. So to me, that's what the purity of love is. It is just innately I love, period. Now that I love, let's build on why I love you. Why do I love you? I love you because, first of all, I see you. And how I see you is building upon my love for you. I see you as someone that I can grow with, I can build with, or I can help. I see you as someone who never had a helping hand I want to give a break to. You see, there's different facets of how you see a person, which builds upon that love, which is going back to knowledge. But today, in this world, everything about love is contractual.
Yeah, it's transactional.
And transactional.
Yeah.
I do not get it.
I don't either.
And is it generational? Because, back in my day, when a man and a woman said, I love you, let's get married or whatever, that's another topic. But say, I love you, even if they was just someone that you cared about, you helped them. You're there because that's what love does. It gives. So what's the problem with today's young people? Why is this word love used more than ever and shown less than ever?
Unfortunately / fortunately, I was raised by you and by people that were raised in the 70s. So my idea and my whole moral compass is actually rooted in the 70s. Like, I should have been born way back when, because the way I think versus the way my peers think, I'm always like, huh? Like, it makes no
Yeah.
sense to me. It's very transactional, and it's very dismissive.
Yeah.
It's like 1 second you love a person, and then the next blink of an eye, you don't want anything to do with them. And it's like, well, what happened?
But
You
what-
was just like,
Yeah, what
What happened? You were just in love like 2 weeks ago, and now you don't want to ever talk to this person again. Like,
And then a month later, they in love with someone else.
a month later, they in love and in a
I
whole
don't-
situation
that-
with somebody else. I
that's
do
the
not
part I don't
understand
get.
it. I don't want to
But
understand
the
it.
word love is used.
The word love is used, and this is why I feel like I don't think people experience the type of love that I've experienced, which is why I think that it's harder for me to sustain relationships and friendships, because our foundations are so different. So it's like, I'm always like, just want to talk it out, figure it out without, the harsh words and the harsh name calling and all of that. Because some people think that that's love. And for me, once you go there with me, I don't want really
The
to have
harsh
nothing-
names?
Oh yeah, I don't really want to have anything to do with
Oh,
you, because once you
That's
get
love?
allegedly, once you get to name calling and
Okay.
all of this, whether it's from a man or a woman, I emotionally tap out, and I can still love you, but I'm not going to allow the love I have for myself is not going to allow you to do that to me, because I don't do that to you. I feel like if I have to talk to you like I would talk to a person on the street that just like slapped me, or I felt threatened by, because I'm not going to just let nobody just slap me, but
No, that's not
that
your
I feel
nature.
that I feel threatened by. If I have to talk to you like I would talk to a dog on the street that I felt was a threat, why would I want you to be in my space in this house? Why would I invite you into this house if we're arguing like cats and dogs on the street?
Exactly.
Why would I do that? Because this is a safe space. This is
And-
the space that I can be vulnerable. This is the space where I can be myself. This is the space where I can love freely. So if you're talking to me like you don't know me, or like you would talk to a random woman, why am I allowing you, or still allow, after you do that to me, now you have put yourself out there, and I don't want you in this house no more.
Right.
Because in this house is where I can feel safe. I can disrobe, I can dismantle all of that.
You can spiritually release.
I can spiritually release, and I can be myself, and I can be free with my thoughts in my heart and my mind and who I am as a person. I can't be, once I walk out this door, I know I can't be that. So if you're treating me like somebody outside of this door, then you probably don't need to be in my safe space anymore.
And you would not call that love.
And that is not love to me.
No.
Now, to maybe somebody else, which I don't fully understand that. The only thing that I can understand is that people don't understand things that they've never experienced or seen.
Okay, so then what I'm hearing is that to prevent yourself from being hurt over and over and over, and to lessen that pain, we should have a limit to how much we allow even those we love to hurt us.
Absolutely. Because a person that you don't love can't hurt you. Unless it's like physical. Like if they run you over or something, then yes, that would be painful. But your heart, like, they can't emotionally hurt you. Not a person that you don't love. Now, you might be, I'm an empath and I'm a crier. So I could see a stranger going through something and I'm like, that's just me. But once we drive further down the street, I'm okay. You know what I mean?
You have a loving, giving heart where you just care about people.
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
So for me, a lot of that is the thing. So for me, it doesn't take much for me to love a person.
Right.
Because it's just in my name. I'm just a loving person. Like, I feel like I embody love and like giving.
You're a nurturer.
Yes.
Because you've been nurtured.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. But I don't share that with everybody, because when you are a nurturer, you have to also be a little guarded because people will take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Because they see that you have a kind, loving heart. So it's like, oh, okay, well, I could just let me keep asking because she's going to keep giving. And it's like, no, hold on.
So there should, in other words, there should be no fear of setting limits on people that you love, not that love you, but that you love, because everyone does not love you. You love, but that doesn't mean they love you.
Right.
So people you love who you know do not love you, it should be okay to set boundaries so that you do not have the repercussions of being hurt over and over because you don't know how to say enough.
Because
you have to learn to say enough.
I have to because
they've proven who they are.
And I have to literally program myself to say no.
Okay, I get where you're at.
And
now.
That's hard for me because I am I just like to be kind.
Okay, this takes me to another thing, especially, and this is dealing with generational. Trust me, because I don't get it.
Because in this generation, kindness, listen, it'll get you ran over, baby. You almost got to just be mean, like, all the time. Like, and who want to do that? That's not fun. That doesn't make me feel free. That makes me feel...
Change your environment.
And I had to change your environment. To piggyback off of that, I literally had to change my complete environment because it started making me a different person because I was exuding who I was and that wasn't received for many years because people thought it was something behind that. And it's like, no, what's wrong with y'all? Like, we come together, we lead together. Like, you got my back, I have your back. Like, we're friends, right? Like, you don't talk about me, I don't talk about you. Like, we're having all these side conversations and all these things. And it's like, just talk to me. But instead of you talking to me, you are programmed to believe that everybody's lying to you. So you think that I'm gonna lie to you. Instead of coming to me, you trying to ask everybody else. And it's like, nobody can speak for me but me.
So you're loving friends who are not loving you back.
Well, I'll just say people. I don't even want to put it on.
Okay, you were loving people because that's your nature.
Right.
But you were not getting that love because, see, with love comes respect.
Right.
And that's the reason why love is spiritual, because all of these innate things come with it that are non-emotional. See, the respect, that has nothing to do with emotion.
Exactly.
I used to think my dad was crazy growing up in the house. He would tell us all the time, you don't have to love me, but you will respect me. And we would say, what kind of man doesn't want you to love him and he's your father? But his thing was, you don't want to love me, don't love me. But you're going to respect and do what I say because there's only one man in this house, and that's me.
I agree with that to an extent.
That's the point. There has to be respect.
But with respect comes what? Boundaries.
Boundaries. Always the love, respect, and the boundaries. So I respect that. So because of the generation we're living in today, and I'm seeing things that I never thought I would see before, should there be a difference? And I think I know the answer, but sometimes y'all young people make me wonder. Well, not you, but some young people. Should there be a difference in the love you show to your spouse, your husband, or your wife, than the love you show to your boyfriend of the month, your girlfriend of the week?
Flavor of the week.
Flavor of the week. Should there be a difference? Because I mean, there are times I'm wondering, wait a minute, what's going on? Oh, that's my wifey. Oh, that's your wife. And, no, that's not my wife. That's my wifey. Your who? So now I'm totally baffled because that's my man. I take care of him. That's my woman. So you're not married, but so where's the boundaries? Where are the lines? So you're supposed to show everybody the same love? So if you're with the man and he's with a woman, you're supposed to show that same love to, I call it the girlfriend or the boyfriend.
That's what it's called.
That you give the husband or the wife. I'm totally confused here today, society. What's the difference in the love? How do you know he's a husband or she the wife if everybody get the same thing?
Maybe it's the level of sacrifice.
Okay.
Because, I mean, I feel like and I'm not married, so I guess I'm not even in a relationship, so yeah, I will be single. But typically, it's like if you file single on your taxes, you are single. Like what you always say. If you're not married, what are you?
You're single.
No, what do you say?
Oh, you mean a just right one? No, you didn't throw me under the bus.
So
I say, hey, look, if he's not married to you and you're not married to him, you a just right woman and he a just right man. He has just as much right to talk to other women as you have just as much right to talk to other men because you're not married. So don't tell me about no girlfriend and boyfriend. Okay, you threw me out there, so I had to tell the truth.
So I'm just saying, yes, I'm single. I don't even have a boyfriend, shall we say, and clearly not a husband. But I do feel like, obviously I've been in relationships, and I do feel like there is a level of sacrifice that I'm not willing to sacrifice for a man that's not my husband.
Thank you.
I'm not doing it. Like, don't even ask. Don't even, like, I'm not signing my name on nothing if you're not my husband. Don't ask me.
Hello.
I don't even want, to be honest, I don't even want my husband to ask me to sign my name on anything. If that's me just being honest. However, I will sacrifice if we have to because we are a team and we're going to work together to get wherever we need to go. So if that's the part of if that is my role as a team player in that season, then yes, I will sign on the dotted line depending on what it is.
I can respect that, but I tell people all the time, I've been asked what I counsel. I said, baby, are you all wanting to be counseled for marriage? Well, we just dealing with a situation. No.
Not a situation. Is this a situationship? Do you know what that is?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, let me break this down because this is the new, you guys didn't have situationships back in your day.
What?
So a situationship is when,
what the heck?
So you have talking. Talking is just like we're on the phone, we're talking, I might be trying to get to know you a little bit. You trying to get to know me, but you can talk to several people. Like I can talk to you and you and you and you and you because there is absolutely no level of commitment, togetherness, or anything. We're talking, right?
Okay.
That's us talking. Then you have situationships. Yeah. So the situationship is all crazy. It's like you're a little bit further than talking. Like, you guys probably, I won't even say that you're going on dates because some situationships don't even make it into public to even go on a date. Oh. But a situationship is more like we're talking, we probably are getting intimate, but there's no attachment. Like there is no, it's your face, no level of attachment. And then when you get to asking questions, it's like the girl is just like, well, we just cool. Or the guy is like, we just cool. It's like, but we doing all the things that you would do in a relationship. So how we just cool?
But that's a situationship?
That's a situationship. And it's it's confusing to me. Right? And then you have relationships.
Well, what does love have? Okay, go ahead.
I don't think people love each other. Maybe you could love your person if you're in a situationship, but I don't know. It's very tricky.
Keep going.
So then you have a relationship, and then a relationship is more like we have committed to each other. We have had some sort of conversation to where it's me and you, and we are exclusive. That's a relationship. So you're my girlfriend, and I'm your boyfriend, or we're boyfriend and girlfriend. So
wait a minute. So they went through all them other ships before they got to relationships?
Sometimes.
Okay, keep it going.
But but let me just pause. I think the situationship stays. I've never heard of a situationship really making it to the finish line and becoming an exclusive thing, because I feel like once you settle for just it being a situation, why would a man and or a woman want to say we exclusive when you just gave everything up in a situation with no commitment, with no strings attached?
Oh my God.
So that never really makes it to the end goal.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
That's just in the field. They didn't make it, there's no touchdown.
Okay.
So then after the relationship, I think then, hopefully a man proposes to you, and then now we're engaged. This is my fiance.
Okay, all this before marriage.
This is what
This
we're
is
going
getting back to my point then.
This is what
What's going on
this is what
today?
I'm forced to. This is what's going on today, and this is what I'm forced to live amongst within our generation. And this is
That's
what people
horrible.
call love. And this is why I'm still single.
This is why we need to
Literally.
go back to how we were raised from generations ago.
But
Because this is too many ships for me to get on.
it's too many ships.
And I can't do ships.
I can't do them either.
So, I'm not drowning. So let's deal with this.
I have
The problem I am seeing, and the reason why these marriages are not working, if they even make it,
I was just about to say that.
if they even make it, is because you're already giving out by the time you say I do.
Well, I always say this, and people think I'm crazy when I say this: weddings before baby showers.
Hello. Uh-oh.
But I always see baby showers,
But
and
no
they
wedding.
never make it to the finish line. And people think I'm crazy. Even right now today, I had someone recently tell me, because I'm like, I'm not about to be a baby mama. I mean, I just don't want. That's just me. And I no knocking nobody else. To all the women that are
Yeah,
taking care of y'all
everybody-
kids, I love y'all. Do y'all
Everybody have a
thing.
right to do what they choose
But by me being, I don't have any kids. I didn't wait this late in the game to just become a mom of kids by myself without a husband. But that goes back to the foundation, because
to do.
my family, my cousins, it's about 10 or 20 of us. We the same age, in the same age range. They are all married
Yeah,
before kids.
yeah.
So that is what I see. So that is
That's
what
how
I
you were raised,
understand.
unfortunately.
Yes, but see, I have friends, I have people that I know, associates, whatever, that have kids first, and they're great parents. It's not like they're raising great kids. It's just not for me. And I also see how hard it is on them actually being single parents,
Yeah.
or actually having kids with men that, show up when they want to or don't show up at all. So for me, I just would like to start off the right way, what I deem to be the right way, because all of that's
Yeah.
different to everybody. And people
Right.
always combat with me with, oh, but you can get a divorce. You're absolutely right. I could get a divorce. But what is that? Does that mean that I don't put my seatbelt on when I get in a car because I could or could not get in an accident? I'm still protecting myself from getting into an accident.
Yeah. And see, this goes back to, and again, this is just my mentality.
Mm-hmm.
When you are in a girlfriend, boyfriend state, there should be a limit to how much you do and what you give
And how much it was.
and how much you accept. Because love that you give to your husband and your wife, that should be total.
Okay, so give me an example of sacrifice that you would give, because you've been married 2 times.
Yeah, married and divorced. Yes.
2 times.
2 times. Twice. Yes.
3 times a charm. I'm just playing.
Keep talking.
But
Okay.
okay. I just need you to give me what.
Is this your question to me?
Yes. So I have a
Make
question.
this your ending question there.
I have a question. My question to you is, how would you distinguish the difference in sacrifice from a girlfriend-boyfriend relationship to a marriage?
Well, in my case, that's a little hard to say because I've never really been a girlfriend.
That's true.
I've always been a wife.
No, high five. That's right. I was raised by a wife. Y'all heard that?
And it is the truth.
It is.
I literally met your dad and we got married.
Man.
I mean, we went from...
And we're married for how long?
Oh, God. God. I actually forgot, but I know it was way past 15 years.
Okay.
So we were together, for a while. And I just know that I gave everything. There is no 50-50 with me. It's 100. And I gave everything to my husband because he was my husband. And that's what love does. It gives. And in that giving, I never had room to hold back because I was always in a giving relationship. He gave, I gave. However, in the short span of time that I was single, of course, there were men of every
Race, caliber, and creed.
oh God, raised caliber, creed, and
checking for you.
always financially wealthy that came for me.
Okay.
But I chose not to
Indulge.
Yeah, and that was just not my thing. But even though, I may have gone to dinner with a couple of them and I, did things of that nature. Yes, I did. I went to
'Cause
dinner
I'm
a
just
couple of
hearing
times.
this for the first
I
time.
know because you never saw anything.
All right.
Never would. Hey, that was dinner after work. I came home.
You did.
And even with that, I never gave them anything. I never gave them my time unless I chose to have a meal with them. I was not going to give of myself as I gave of my husband. I was not cooking them a meal. I was not going to do anything for them. A person asked me one time as a favor, I'll never forget, and he was not even one of them, if I would help them by doing their laundry because they were in a situation. And what I paid, they could have just went and bought what I charged them, they could have bought a whole new wardrobe. But I did it because I chose to, because I just wanted to break them. And that was horrible, but I did.
Mama.
I shouldn't say that, but I did it. Anyway, so I was never that girlfriend. I did it by choice. But for me, I went right into being the wife because that was my comfort zone. And when I married your other dad, I married him because of that same thing: love, provide, protect. And so I stayed there. And that was where I chose to be. And in being in that environment, I gave again because that's what a wife does. But to be a girlfriend, I wouldn't give you too much of anything.
You just gave me a bar because you said I went right into wife because that was your comfort zone.
Yes, I cannot be comfortable being nobody's girlfriend.
But just think about something. I was raised by you, so that just was an aha moment for me in my life, in my dating situations.
Yeah.
Because I was raised by a woman that has always been a wife as long as I could know.
That's all I know.
So it's crazy. I've never been a wife, but I can understand you saying that's your comfort zone. Like that
Yes.
nurturing, just wanting to give and wanting to
Be there for my husband.
Right. But now I have to learn how to pull back.
You give because you have only seen a wife. And that's the reason why you cannot settle as a girlfriend.
Yeah.
You will never settle to be a girlfriend because you were not raised by the side chick. You were raised by the wife. And wherever I have been as the wife, you will know I was there. And years later, you will still say, she was that wife. And that's because of love. And love always precedes it all. We good?
I'm great. I actually like that you just said that because that just put so much into perspective moving forward for me. That was really, 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 I needed to hear you say that the
Love.
way that you just said it though, because that was really an aha moment for me, for real. It was.
Well, I'm glad.
All right, ma'am.
Well, with that being spoken, I don't want to ask you anything too much, but I do have a brief one I want to throw out there.
Okay.
Because I have been married twice, I have been divorced twice. How does that affect your view on marriage? And how does that affect, most of all, not so much as marriage, how does that affect your view on love?
I think my views on love are very positive. Like, that's what I want. That's what I want to be, a wife, because that's what I've seen. Even though you had one marriage and you got a divorce and another marriage and got a divorce, that doesn't make me feel like I don't want to be married. Like, I feel like my dream, no, well, not dream, that might be extreme. But no, because my dream is really to have a family. So that entails having a husband and then having children. So yes, my dream is to be a wife and to be a good wife and have a very, very healthy marriage. It's not necessarily, I mean, don't get me wrong, I want a huge wedding, but my ultimate, yeah, I do. But my ultimate goal is to have a healthy marriage. And I think that for me, obviously when you and dad were married, I was too young to really remember you guys' marriage like that.
Yes.
But just hearing, from my sister and like just cousins and just everybody in our family on both sides, like telling me the breakdown on what type of wife you were to him, it just makes, I can't wait. Like, it's exciting to me to be like, oh, I want to be able to do this. Like how you were just so nurturing and like catering to him. Like, because I'm already kind of like that with my friends and my family. So all I need is for like, God, hello, do you hear me? Where is he?
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? Because I think that's fun. Like, it's a joy to me to, I mean, I'm a hairstylist,
You know
so
what?
to be serving, like I'm not a servant, but I don't mind serving people that I love.
Because this topic is so strong, the love, and then
It's shifted
easing into marriage,
Mhm.
let's talk about that the next time.
Okay.
How about that?
Yep. Love that.
Okay?
Okay.
So, what's spoken in the house stays
In the house.
in the house. Next time,
Next time.
we'll talk about marriage.
Marriage next time.
Okay.
All right.
All right. See you soon.
Bye.